All right, you guys. I think we are live, and we got Mr. Randy Hilarski here. There he is.
What's going on, guys?
Mr. Holarski, Pulse Mafia, thank you for joining us this evening.
You're welcome, guys. I was just telling the guys earlier, I'm just recovering from a nice special brownie that I ate around noon today. So I'm back getting clear thoughts. It was a nice afternoon.
Good vibes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of recovering. We had here up in the States, we had a lot of football, and I know that I partaked in a lot of cocktails yesterday during our football game there. The Oregon Ducks and what have you, and no hangovers, but man, I did it pretty good yesterday.
I guess it was a weekend for that. It was just a real chill weekend. Nothing's really popping off. There's, the markets look like they're going to dump big time on us. I'm talking about the regular markets, which probably take crypto down with it too. But I'm just you know what? Hey, it's not going to get any better for a while. So just enjoy this.
Yeah. Let it burn. Let's take back and make some popcorn and marshmallows.
I think I got about 3 to 4 months worth of food.
Yeah, that along that kind of line, I saw your post from earlier in the week, and I follow a journalist named Michael Yon, and he reports pretty regularly from the Darien Gap.
Oh yeah, really?
And he goes into all kinds of crazy ass combat zones, but he's really, since that I don't know if you call it a surge since the Biden administration.
It's been really increasing every year since like mid-COVID. It's been going nuts, just going up like this, the amount of people coming through.
And I was looking forward to talking to you to hear more of that local perspective, because the MSM, they're going to carry the water for Joe, and we ought to feel bad for all those people that need a home, coming from every freaking country in the world, hundreds of thousands a month. How are they covering it down there, and what is the government doing, and what's the word on the street, man?
Well, they're going to end up about 1.2 million people crossing the Darien Gap this year. That's like the numbers that they're guessing. And look, it's not just South Americans or Colombians or Venezuelans. It's everybody. There's groups of Africans. There's groups of Chinese. Big groups of Chinese coming through. And the Chinese always pay for horses. So there's a joke down here. Whenever the Chinese are at the border, they get the money to get a horse, so they don't have to climb through the jungle. The amount of people is just ridiculous. So what happens is they come into Panama, and I guess each person's given $30, and they get a bus ride to the Costa Rica border. And they take them up to Costa Rica, and there's like this one of those like refugee cities at the border of Costa Rica, and then they put them on transportation up to Mexico, where I don't know how they're getting to the border, but apparently a lot of them are using the trains, especially the young men. They're using the trains. You're not going to put a little kid and a woman on a train. It's an open air train. It makes no sense. So it seems like most of the guys are doing it that way. But it's a tragedy for all of Central America right now, because we're all footing the bill for bad policy up north. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the population of Panama can't be that great, right?
Teeny tiny, man. We're only 4 million.
Yeah, and you got 1.2 crossing coming through. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, we don't have a military either. So Costa Rica and Panama, the 2 countries in the world that don't have militaries, and all they have is police, and the police are, they're armed and they look like they could be military, but they're still a small force. There's not much they can do, and what happens in Texas border, and we have no control of those things up there. So I'm just glad that most aren't staying here. For a while there, right after COVID, there was no buses taking people up, right? They had to come here, make some money for their next leg, which would be San Jose, Costa Rica. So they would go up to San Jose, make some money in San Jose, then they take the next one up to Managua, Nicaragua. And that's how they would make their way north. Well, all of a sudden they started packing them all on buses and taking them through the countries really quick. So that's why you see this massive influx coming in right now, is because there's just a massive amount coming through the border down here. And the president of Colombia said he's not going to help. He said he's not going to do anything about it. And Panama's like, oh, what do we do? So it's a total mess. And the only people that are going to stop it is the people themselves. The governments are in deep with this. They want this to happen.
They do.
They do.
They do. Even the governor of Texas, and watching the legislative session in Texas, it just ended, with the impeachment of the AG, and talking about dog whistles. They spend so much time worrying about trans this and trans that, literally while they're being invaded. I mean, it was so obvious that, trying to distract people and not really taking any actions that are, anything beyond, smoke and mirrors, nothing substantial to stem the tide or to do anything, right?
Yeah,
it
do anything.
No.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. Life in the U.S. isn't easy. I mean, these people, this is not what we had when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Or, so if you're a kid in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that was the best 3 decades in the history of mankind, especially if you're an American. It was just fabulous, right? And they have this perception that's what they're going to get when they go there now. It's nowhere near what it used to be. And Canada the same way. We got to experience that for 2 weeks a couple weeks ago. And I just don't see how they could pass somewhere like Panama. You could live here, you can rent a room for $400 and work a job and make $800 to $1,500 a month and actually save some money because you don't have to worry about paying so much taxes. Well, you go north to the U.S. and if you're making $2,500, you're still paying 30, 40, 50% in taxes, depending where you live. Right?
Yep.
It's not, the grass isn't always greener. And here, I don't have a heat bill, man.
All
I do is run some fans. It's like our electricity runs something from $20 to $50 a month, depending on if it's high season for heat or not. That's all we pay. And so you could live cheap down here and still be able to go out and enjoy time with your friends. When I was in the U.S., even when I worked as a nurse or when I was working with Mazda and Volkswagen, there's no way, man. I had to work. I couldn't take time off.
2 jobs. Yeah. Overtime.
Yeah.
And they
making 40 a year.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, making 40 a year just didn't cut it. Nope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I got a friend in Africa who runs an orphanage, and I always think that he thinks that like everyone in America is just making it. And I try to explain to him, man, America's been really positioned to be like a society of like slaves. I mean, people are just like 9 to 5 slaves up here, and it's kind of bringing it back to crypto. I think that's where everyone's hope is, like, within crypto. And, I know we all want price go up, but it's a lot of people's ticket out, it's their opportunity. Yeah. But
been there. I've been hoping that since 2014. I achieved what many wish they could achieve. But remember, like many of you, I have 100% of my HEX staked, and my average stake length is like 11 years. And that's a long time going out. So that's not going to come to my aid anytime soon. And that's just like, I looked at my HEX as my retirement. That when it comes time, when I hit my 60s, I'll have a nice nest egg there. Won't have to ever worry about anything again. If plays out the way that we hope it should play out.
That's one of the things that makes me feel so lucky. We've got these true DeFi products with, first principles behind them.
Yep.
And yet we can plan for our retirement without planning like most people, knowing that Social Security is going to be bunk and who know what else is going to be bunk when we need it, right? With the way that the Fed's got, the boom and bust cycle going, when, they understand the extraction of wealth. And most of us are picking up pennies in front of freight trains. Yeah, we're very lucky. And I love hearing the perspective that you bring, Randy, because you've seen these cycles.
Oh, so many times. I'm getting old. I mean, this is the last time was 2008 when we saw these things, right? I'm talking about the greater cycle.
Right.
And, before that was in the 90s when Clinton was in charge. And I remember being in the Navy and they're like, we don't know if we're getting paid this week. We don't know. Congress hasn't approved the debt limit increase or that kind of thing. And I remember the anxieties of the early 90s when the economy was absolutely terrible. So, this is just another part of the rodeo. Just have to go up and you go down, you go up and you go down. And crypto happens to be in the middle of right at the end of a 4-year cycle. So we're in the belly of the bear right now. And we should be pulling out by the end of the year for crypto. If we continue with the 4-year cycle. If this is an extended cycle where some people are saying, oh, it's going to be different this time, which would be odd because it's the fourth one, right? Like this will be, we're going into the fourth one. This will be kind of odd if that happens that way. And they say, because we're not going to have all the inflation and stuff. But yeah, there's plenty of inflation in the system. They're still going to spend that money. They're going to turn those money printers back on within a year and a half. They're not going to keep cutting. They won't let them sit still there for 2 years. They'll probably bring them back on, and we'll be back up to 10-15% inflation within 2 years or something like that, depending on what happens in the world. If there's a war or oil goes to $200 a barrel, that type of stuff. It'll be interesting to see. I'm just glad that, for us as a community, we're in Pulsechain. It's probably the most exciting thing that's going to happen in this bull market, the stuff that's going to happen on Pulsechain. So everyone else will be looking at us and they're going to be kind of jealous. Guess what that means? FOMO. They're going to come over and they're going to start buying our bags. And when we get that one, maybe we get 50x, I'll start selling into the FOMO. And by the end of the bull market, I'll have sold everything back in the stables and people have bought my bags. And that's how we got to play it now. Remember, Pulsechain, Pulsex, all these things, they are not HEX. They don't work the same way as HEX. This is crypto. This is what crypto was for many years for me. It's a game I'm used to playing. And I will, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low. And I'll keep my HEX bags, because the reason why I was so excited about HEX, I don't know about you guys, is because it was different. It was a money printer of our own, a single-sided staking before there was something called single-sided staking.
Right.
So, hey, Corey Gary's here.
Corey Gary.
See Hexy Quinn.
DJ Pollywood.
All Sachs, Clint Jones.
Yeah, Hexy Quinn. Thank you, chat. Thank you for everyone showing up. Paul Sachs, thank you. Mr. Paul Sachs. Yep. Yeah, a number of people in the chat that are obviously in your Patreon group. I really enjoy my time in the group. I know that a lot of value, a lot of wealth and wisdom within it. You always call them gray hairs, what have you. I know I'm 43, so I'm not complete spring chicken, but I enjoy the perspective from everyone in there. And it goes beyond crypto too. I know we're talking about all kinds of stuff. We're talking about politics. We're talking about, being a digital nomad, that kind of stuff. So it's all very good stuff.
And health. We're
getting into health. Yep.
Talking about peptides right now. It's a big topic. And I just think it's important to talk about everything. And I have to bring that back to my time with Dollar Vigilante. When I was with Dollar Vigilante, I the reason why Jeff got so big is because he didn't just talk about money all the time. He was talking about how to improve your life, where to move, where to invest in. It wasn't just crypto. It was gold, silver. It was real estate. Even though he made a lot of mistakes due to the fact that he liked to buy a little bit too much. I think that was his problem. But overall, his idea was for everyone to improve their lives. And like I said, I may have rage quit Dollar Vigilante, but I don't have any issue with Jeff himself. It was the crypto team, because they were just blithering idiots, man. Talking bad about HEX and stuff when a third of the Dollar Vigilante team owned HEX. I was like, what are you doing? You're over here funding our bags. And they didn't want to listen to us, so had to leave.
Yeah.
With true DeFi, we're considering products and retirement. You have to. We're going to be around this long. You can't just talk crypto. Yeah. There's a bigger world out there, and we want to be in it as long as we can. So it is a good thing. Learning is one of those keys, isn't it, Randy? That helps keep us young.
Not stop learning. For me, it was the recent one was AI came on scene. I got to play around with AI and do that kind of stuff. So that was another learning experience for me. There's always something popping up, it seems, and whether it be a conspiracy theory or just enjoying life in general, and helping people who took the vaccine, that kind of stuff, or not I shouldn't call it that. Should call the mRNA thing, and because it's not the first thing I said. As a nurse, I'm talking, and just go in and make sure you get your body cleansed, and take your natto kinase. If you haven't done a couple series of ivermectin, do that. Just a couple things you have to get out there and do. And you guys follow Dr. McCullough, the guy that's been uncovering all this.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was in Panama here about a month and a half ago, and we got to go to his talk, and then he released his all the tools that everyone needs to be doing when they got that thing. And it's so funny that people refuse to talk about it now. It's almost like they're scared to talk about it. But the truth is, a lot of our family members are suffering because they took that damn thing. And, so I'm out here trying to preach to help folks. And speaking of preaching to help folks, I lost my Twitter account, about a year ago now, my main Twitter account. Right. And today or Saturday, they finally
did they?
Yeah. You have had numerous violations of the Twitter rules, so therefore you're never going to get your account back. Stop messaging us. That's what it said, right? It's on Twitter. I put it on Twitter. I was like, are you kidding me? A year later, all I wanted was an answer, and they didn't give me an answer. It's like they almost didn't know why they had banned me. So,
yeah, big tech censorship. They
it's nuts.
But that's cool that you got to go see him. Dr. Malone and Dr. Naomi Wolf are like the three that I've been following with. Like Naomi Wolf, it's getting into the investigation and the FISA things that were. You remember they wanted to seal their studies for 75 years, right? Yeah. Are you kidding? Talk about a red flag, right, Randy?
Yeah. And when I saw that, I lost it. And it's probably one of the reasons why Twitter banned me forever, because I just went bonkers. And then Facebook, they banned me. And they said the only way I could come back is to provide a copy of my passport. I'm like, what? No. I'm not giving you a copy of my passport. So, goodness gracious. Yeah, but I had a tough few years there on social media. Randy was getting swatted everywhere.
That's when I began this crypto journey. That was one of the things that I used to determine the people that I needed to be listening to. If you were canceled, suppressed, or censored, you were someone I was going to go after to find more about.
Yeah, I think even Jeff and I sitting around, having a talk, and he would say the same thing. He goes, "This is the best way to filter out the good from the bad right now. Just find out if they believe in getting the jab or if they believe in locking people down." He goes, if they believe in those things, they're not your friend.
Man, I'm telling you, we got to look behind the curtain like we had never got to look behind the curtain in 2020. I mean, between politics and the jab and C-19 and everything. I don't know how someone could still, at this point, right, be supporting such a system and have faith in it. The level of corruption and crimes against humanity. We witnessed crimes against humanity
in our neighborhoods.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was like commonplace. It's okay. Yeah, and it didn't now today it didn't happen.
Exactly. I mean, that day that I got going, it was a Sunday. I've told the story many times, just walking around our neighborhood. We lived in a pretty, nice upscale private neighborhood, and we not allowed to go outside on Sundays, right? And the private security that was on the property, they got tired of telling me to go back in the house. They just gave up because they know this big fat green goey's not going to listen to us. And I had my son out. It was about 2 at the time, and we're walking around, and all of a sudden I see the lights from the police car coming through the front gate, and I was like, "Ah, shit, here we go." They called the cops up. Real cops, not the fake cops called the real cops, because they said we're not going to mess with them.
Yeah.
So the real cops jump out of their car with their hands on their guns, I mean, this is here in Panama, right? And they're like, "Grab tu niño," like grab your kid. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, do I look like a threat right now? And they said, "Go back to your house." In Spanish, they're yelling at me, "Go back to your house." And I said, "Do you guys need the violence?" I mean, seriously, this is BS. So we walked back to the house, and I immediately went to the office. And I bought our tickets to leave for Mexico. Like it was the next week. The airports were opening. It was the first day the airport was open. We left Panama and went to Mexico and lived there for 7 months until all the craziness ended. It was bonkers.
Now, was it a lot better in Mexico?
Oh yeah, it's way better. There was still some dumb rules. Like in Mexico, they had this thing where, like, if you went to Walmart, you could only go in one person at a time from your family, and kids weren't allowed in any stores. Like we couldn't even go to Starbucks with our son. We had to like one of us would go in, get it, and come outside and sit outside. It was a weird time, but yeah, it was much freer than anywhere else we've been. And then we went to Mazatlan, which is northern Mexico. We were in Acapulco because Jeff was there. We were working with Jeff, and that was kind of weird because it's still close to Mexico City, right? So we then went to Mazatlan, which is Sinaloa country.
Okay.
Oh boy, there was no rules. We did whatever the hell we wanted. I was like, man, what's going on? This is great.
Yeah.
You look for some property here.
Yeah, so that went really well for us. That the last like 2 months we were in Mexico was a grand old time. We were having parties every day, getting together, whether it be at a coffee shop, at a restaurant, or some like out by a park or something. We just had a group of friends. We all became really close, and they got us through that. And I don't know about you guys, but if you look around these kids today, you look at the kids that are turning of age now, 4, 5, 6 years old, you see that a lot of them are really behind because especially when it comes to speech and reading and writing and stuff, because those damn masks, man. That's part of how we read each other and how we talk and our communication per se. And these kids just don't have it. And when we came back to Panama, we noticed it right away. Our son was so much further ahead than his peers because they've been locked up for almost a year and a half. But it was really sad to see.
Yeah, kids need stimulus. Duh, right?
Yeah.
These guys.
When you're talking, there's so much information going on, transferred from between humans, and if you don't have half of it, it's gonna mess them up. Tex Glenn says he's behind on speech and reading.
Yeah, he's been wearing a mask this whole time, huh? Yeah, it still gets me when I see people in the car by themselves wearing a mask up here in like Oregon, and it's just always like it's like, whoa, what's going on?
You're in the middle of one of the, you might be in a beautiful state, but it's politically it's a cesspool.
It's a rough state to live in sometimes,
I've never been up there, but being from New York, I can judge.
Yeah. That was probably a nice break, kind of like you enjoyed your time up in Canada, huh? Was it just good to get away for a minute?
Get away? And almost like being in the US. So it was really funny. Toronto, when you're in Toronto, you're in Canada. The people are different, the mannerisms are different, the way they talk to each other, that everyone's like super fake friendly, that whole Canadian thing. Nothing against my Canadian friends, but it was like, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of like that Southern fake friendly. The Canadians are very similar to somebody from like Georgia, where it's like, I don't know, you can't be that nice. It's like as a New Yorker, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not from New York City. I'm from upstate, which is close to Niagara Falls. So we were in Toronto for about 4 or 5 days, and then we went down to Niagara Falls, and I was like, oh wow, this feels like I'm in Rochester right now. These are my people. I can recognize it. This is how I grew up. And even though we're on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, it felt like I was in Buffalo. It really did, the way that people were with each other and how much more frank, like very direct and those kind of things. Like, you could tell the influence of Buffalo folks, Niagara Falls folks here. So it was really enjoyable. So I told my wife, I said, for now, until we actually go to the U.S., this is going to be the closest thing you're going to get to tasting what it's like. It sure felt like we were there, and I got to look across at least and see this town of Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
If you guys ever have a chance to go, it's wonderful.
Man, I haven't been there since I was a kid, and as a kid, that your boy is never going to forget it.
No,
that was so cool.
Not at all. I mean, because we were at the top of we had the top floor room with the Marriott, one of the top floor ones, and right over the Horseshoe Falls. Every night they had the fireworks. So imagine this: 9 nights in a row we got to watch fireworks. And my kid was like,
your kid.
he's like right on the. Okay, Dad, it's almost 10. It's time for the fireworks. So yeah, that was a good time. I'm glad he got to experience it, especially at the age of 5, going on 6. So
Yeah.
this is right when they start having the memories. And
Yep.
I mean, I can remember my time doing those kind of things with my dad.
Mhm.
So yeah, formative years, right?
And he got to see some family. He got to see some family members that he's never gotten to see before, huh?
Yeah.
So that was great.
You got to meet my real dad,
Yeah.
and my stepdad. You got to meet both of them. So
Okay.
which was pretty awesome for us, and my stepmother as well. PhD, SUNY Buffalo. She taught at SUNY Buffalo and at North Carolina State when she was down south. But yeah, it was cool. Everyone got to finally meet the whole family.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll go to we'll give him his U.S. passport and go to the U.S. in the next couple of years. But chillaxing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one to just let it chill and relax right now, because it's not pretty, and it's 2024 is going to be a shit show. It's going to be interesting, but yeah, the
stagflation. That's exactly what's happening, right? We're going to have stagflation, so you're going to have prices getting out of control, but the economy is just going to usually, if during an inflationary period, the economy just is really hot. There's jobs, and you're losing your value of money, but this time it's going to be the value of your money is losing, and there's no jobs. So it's going to be real tough, just like it was. I mean, David, I don't know how you are old.
70s, yes.
70s were rough.
Yep. I'm 55, so yeah, I was a kid. I remember, and the misery index, right?
And we're about to have it again. I can remember. I know you know those pictures in your head of New York City from the 70s. That place was it was a hole, total hole.
Yeah, that's the one thing that the violence.
Yeah.
You had the big, one of the biggest determiners, right, is your size of your male population between 18 and 35. And when the boomers were 18 to 35,
chaos.
Yeah, it was chaos. It was a train wreck. New York City people have no idea what Times Square was. No idea.
That's a nasty place. You might not want to walk on the sidewalk. Safer to walk in the street.
Yeah. The people don't understand how he transformed that city.
Yeah. That's when I was. When he come to power, it was like 93.
I was going to say early 90s. Yeah.
Something like that. I had just joined the Navy. I remember when he got into power. So, come on, Rudy Giuliani, folks. People are like, all the younger guys are like, who the fuck is Rudy? Not the movie guys. Not
the football.
Yeah. The dude that was just indicted for questioning an election. This is how, right?
Yeah.
How screwed up it's become.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys are going to do. I mean, Texas seems even shaky right now. It's like Texas needs to shit or get off the pop and decide where they're going to. It's like, or else
the Uniparty may have overplayed their hands finally. I mentioned them impeaching the Attorney General, Ken Paxton. He brought probably the most substantial case during 2020 to try to contest the election. Him, and I think there was 8 states that went in with him. He became a target since then, and they didn't follow the impeachment rules. They literally had a 4-hour behind the doors indictment, no witnesses, no cross-examination or anything. Senate looked at it, right? He gets acquitted of everything. After this legislation, while they're watching an invasion and they're worried about taking books out of school. Now, granted, I totally dig it. A lot of this stuff is, the schools are a shit show itself.
Yeah.
But you're being invaded. So I think they may have overplayed their hand. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, this isn't a couple thousand people a month. No, this is friggin' insane.
Yeah, right? and just from the Darien Gap, 100 to 110,000 people a month right now.
A month.
And that doesn't include the rest of Central America that's getting on board, trying to cross too.
Yeah. So yeah,
Almost
maybe
everybody
they overplayed it.
Yeah, they definitely overplayed it. And I got some Venezuelan friends here, who live in Panama, and a lot of them, they think that, I can go to the US and make some more money, right? And they're like, oh, they're even talking amongst themselves now, oh, maybe we should do it too to see if it works out for us. But they got the money to come back down to Panama if it doesn't work out, right? So now people are just like, oh shit, let's try. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, you get across the border and they're going to give you a plane ticket. They're going to ship you around the country. They're going to put you on all kinds of, give you an ID, going to put you on all kinds of, the social safety network. $2,200 a month. Yeah, why not?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's more than the average Social Security recipient receives, right?
way more than what my parents receive. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
Can you imagine even trying to live off of 2,200? If you had to pay taxes on that 2,200, it's just rough. And 90% of the country.
Yeah. That's not a bad segue to the Nope token.
Yeah, there you go. Nope. Yeah. So yeah, Randy, you're coming out with a token that you're going to launch on 9inch, which we know 9inch is a decentralized exchange that's coming to Pulsechain. So yeah, tell us about it, man.
Yeah. So one night I'm just laying there in bed. When you're about to fall asleep, you have some great ideas, and it was one of those moments. And always keep a pen and paper or some way for you to jot down these things when you're falling asleep. I said, to myself, I said, the name of our project is No Permissions.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we go down the meme coin alley and just make a coin called Nope? And anything anybody tells me to do, you have to do this, you have to do that. Nope. And it'll be a great meme that we can have a lot of fun with. And anybody could run with it and make memes. We'll have meme competitions. We'll, stuff for Twitter and TikTok and those kind of things. It could really go viral. Mm-hmm. And as a anarcho-capitalist / libertarian, I think this is a great way for me to evangelize the thinking of taking responsibility for your life, your actions, doing all those kind of things. So I said, why don't I launch a token? And because GoPulse.com has made it so easy that you go in and you just mint your coins and you name the coin and the token, whatever it's called. When you look on Dex Screener, you look it up by the name of the token, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
And it was quite easy to do. And I went and I made the logo, and I said, here we go. I told my wife, who's a designer, I said, hey, is this logo good enough? She's like, absolutely. She goes, how'd you do that? I didn't tell her, but I said, I don't want to give all my secrets to my wife. So I made it using AI, and it was fabulous. So I said, you know what? This is great. I'm ready to go. So for those of you guys who do not know, I did very well during the 9inch sacrifice. I was the number one referrer. I referred about 573 people to the sacrifice. Nice. And including, hey, Hex Quinn, what's up? And
I heard nobody said red flag, so I thought I'd better put it in here.
So it was just something that made sense, and I figured out airdrop it to our Patreon, and for every month they're a member, as long as they're active. So it's gonna be a fun little project, and it's going to easily grow into something really big, especially if a couple people jump on board who I know who are really big in the anarcho libertarian community. So if we can get those people on board, that's going to be bonkers because they've got huge followings. So I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. But 30 days after 9inch launch, I'm not launching it before that. And the reason is because they're going to have single-sided staking. And single-sided staking is an amazing tool. And because I have a really large wallet on 9inch and my best buddy is the number one wallet, we're going to be able to combine and give it the voting power and have a high APR over on the single-sided staking. So, and the liquidity pairs. So that's the benefit of being, I don't know how to say it, but being a cornerstone of a new project, of putting my weight behind a project. just say, okay, look, this looks like it's going to be really cool. And
Yeah.
if it flourishes, great. And the sacrifice went so well that I got to position myself. Now I'm going to help the team as an advisor for the marketing side, and just hopefully, because it's the most immature name for a DEX in crypto, but my God, people are going to jump all over it. It's gonna be a lot of fun because HEX Ambassadors are fun, dude. So is Mooney Man, our friend from Scotland, the other founder, and I can't wait. We're supposed to go there for Christmas, so
Yeah.
we'll see if we can go up to Nottingham for Christmas in Scotland again to see our friends.
Yeah, it'll be
You
real
make it to Edinburgh, you got to see Mr. Rafferty.
Mr.
Jerry
Rafferty.
Rafferty.
Yeah.
Mr. Jerry Rafferty, yes, sir.
Yeah, we love Edinburgh. I would like to go back, especially during Christmas with the Christmas lights.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool though, with the 9-inch, be able to do the single-sided stake, with the token. And
but that's not, one thing I learned about the single-sided staking, it's only good for 30 days at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So if your token gets voted in as being one of the monthly tokens for that the single-sided, then you're lucky to have that, but it's not going to be around the next month. So they have to be able to cycle it through to keep the excitement going and bringing adoption to Pulsechain, because that's exactly what it's going to do. You get a new meme coin that's being brought over from Ethereum, or it's being airdropped to Ethereum boys or girls, and then just provide single-sided staking and gets everyone excited to come play on Pulsechain. Yeah,
and I'd assume TEXAN will probably get into the mix at some point too, as far as that. Like, there may or may not be someone else in the room that is a top 10 wallet of 9-inch here. Yeah. So I know that I got some voting power too.
Nice.
So that's
Yeah, and Ted just said, don't forget, they'll have limit orders on 9-inch. So that's going to be pretty powerful for a lot of folks. It's so funny because I remember back in the day in crypto, I did every single buy and sell using limit orders. I did that for years. We were using centralized exchanges. It wasn't until Uniswap came out that I stopped using that because they didn't have it as an option. And now it's been since 2019 late since last time I used a limit order. It's so weird to me. And now we're kind of going back the other way.
Yeah, I kind of think, like you said, I think you hit the nail on the head the other day in regards to, I think Richard's probably sitting back, and he's going to, with PulseX, he's going to probably release the hounds at some point as far as a lot of these features that we just don't see. Like you said, like limit orders, like I can't imagine him just not doing anything. I guarantee he's been just sitting back, waiting, letting people sell off. And then it's just going to be like, there you go.
Hopefully I don't miss it. Because I'm out right now. I'm not in anything.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah, you went ahead and
I'm out. I've got all my stakes, my HEX stakes. I got all my ICOSA and Edron. All that stuff's all staked up. Okay, my fucks are all staked up, but I don't have any. I shouldn't say I don't have any. I've got some, but my large bags of Pulsechain and PulseX and the unstaked HEX, all that stuff's liquid right now and stables. So we'll wait. I'm patient.
Full moon this week. Timing's good. I really do, Randy. I think meme coins are hot, and we're coming up to a point where we're going to need to say nope a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I love it. You're going to be out there preaching that to people. Don't comply.
Don't comply. And guys, listen. I'll probably lose all my social media accounts. I'll probably lose YouTube. I've got backups, but I'll probably lose my main account. It's just I'm willing to go out there and do that. And Twitter, they don't care. You saw what Twitter said. Oh, you have multiple infractions. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Because I called Trump and Biden idiots one night during their debate one time. That's a multiple infraction. Oh goodness.
How you doing, Hexy?
I'm doing good now.
Did you have a Twitter space earlier today?
I did.
Yeah, how did that go?
I don't know. I hope
you don't
somebody
know.
can tell me. I've never.
While I was there, you were doing great.
Well, David, you're biased. You'd be cheering for me if I was screwing the pooch.
Don't test me, woman.
No, I think I did okay. Rags actually did show up to it, so He didn't speak or anything, but I thought I was going to be unsupervised, but I think I did okay.
You did.
So,
Now, I tried to hit the speaker thing. I was gonna.
I know I kept accepting you, but then you'd come up and then you disappear and then come
Yeah,
up
I just
and
kept
disappear.
dropping.
Yeah, but I think it went good. IDB, thank goodness for him, because yeah, I couldn't have done it without him. So went good. And
Some of those
thank you.
takes inspired some of my questions this evening for Mr. Hilarski.
Cool.
Nice.
And,
Well,
and it
thank
ties
you.
in real
Thank
good with the
you,
nope token.
John and Randy, for doing the takeover.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because you guys took over this stream and IDB took over the space, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, what did you guys, Robert put Forrest in a pit. What did you guys do with Robert?
Yeah. Where's Robert?
Where's the rest of my crew? I mean, it's like I show up here and it's like, oh, it's a really cool crew, but it's not the regular people.
They're not telling you, David.
No, at least I don't have to worry about ransom then.
Would you pay it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I wouldn't. So, Robert, there's your guy. Don't call me.
Hey, Robert's my guy, man.
So Randy, you probably have a hard stop to get off stream to get on. Is yours?
I'm not gonna stream tonight, man. That special brownie got me whipped.
Did it?
It's the tailgate.
Yeah. I went and I took like a 3-hour nap this afternoon.
Nice.
Was this before or after the brownie?
This is after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was real mellow.
Real
You got a
mellow.
sandwich
I found
and
myself watching this documentary. I have no idea what the hell it was about. I'm just staring at the TV. And my wife and kid are still at the mall, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't do this often, but I'm gonna go take a nap in the middle of the afternoon.
Perfect. Very nice.
Once in a while, it's been a long time. A fellow Hexkin hooked me up. So
You're
We got a-
speaking my language. Documentary.
we got a
and nap.
good crew here.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah. Oh, you see my wife's face when she came home. She's like, "What are you doing in bed?" I said, just
You were
relaxing.
sick.
Just relaxing, baby. She's like, she goes, "Did you eat?" Yeah, I had some of the brownies.
But you didn't ask for a sandwich.
No, I'm good. Yeah, so the gentleman and his wife, they put on like a get together last night here. It was so much fun. They had just finished their backyard and had turned it into like an oasis with a pool and the hot tub, and, a big bar with like a super amazing grill and everything there. They wanted to have our first party, like Hex can get together there. And I was like, wow, you guys really, this is beautiful. And my kid was having a blast. I didn't see my kid the rest of the, he was just out goofing around, just having a blast, in the pool. And he said he called the hot tub like cooking, like we were cooking hot dogs. We put the hot dogs in boiling water because it was so hot. But yeah, he's like, I'm not putting my legs in there, Dad. I'm like, no, I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, so I like one thing about our community that I want to say is that we're so close everywhere we go. We just got back from Toronto and we got to hang out with one of the gentlemen in the Patreon in Toronto, who's also a Hexkin, and seeing young people being super successful at such a young age was really inspiring for me, because this gentleman couldn't have been more than 23, 24. I was really impressed, and then we had another friend from Northern Canada come down and stay in Niagara Falls and visit with us for a few days. Even with my family coming and going, he was still hanging out and going out to eat with us. And it's just
cool.
It's cool having friends everywhere.
Very nice. Now, with the large number of retirees, military, is the expat community down there, the Hex crypto community, pretty big in Panama, I'm imagining?
It was. It's kind of, it's a lot of people have left in the last year. They seem to have gone to other places. It kind of ebbs and flows. We tend to have a lot more people here January through, I'd say, April, because that's our dry season, and the tourists tend to come here during that time. So yeah, we got a decent sized community, and the difference is that the community here is, because they are retirees, a lot of them are quite wealthy. So it's a different group, whether it be Europeans or Americans or Canadians, whatever, Australians, they all seem to be pretty wealthy. So I would say that's the big difference. When I say our group is a bunch of gray hairs, it's true. It is true. Gray hairs that got money. It's a lot of fun.
They've had time to accumulate.
Yeah. I'm talking people in our community that are, top 25 wallets and Pulsechain, that type of stuff is that we get to rub shoulders with, and people who come and go from Panama all the time because they have banking here and other things. And being a small potato compared to them, get to learn from these people. So they say who you are, who you hang out with the most.
True. Yeah. Great wisdoms I'm sure you get to hear too.
Yeah, well, this is no different. This is the same thing. All of us could be just watching football right now, or instead we're doing a live stream talking about finance and living a good life and that type of stuff.
John, you're doing a wonderful job. First time, Randy. What do you think, man? First time hosting a show.
It's fine, man. All you gotta do is keep them wrinkled, right?
Just gotta throw you the alley oop. let Randy go ahead and dunk it.
Yeah. What's that thing? It's like trying to be a show host is like trying to keep cats in the corral type thing.
Right. Cow the carats.
Yeah.
You guys still thinking about getting a new place, or have you guys were thinking about moving to like a different house, right, Randy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had this place now since CV ended. When we got back from Mexico, this was just the second place we looked at. We're like, okay, we'll take it. We knew it was a really good building. We knew it was a great location next to the metro and main road, grocery stores. This is the best neighborhood in the city to live in. And we got such a great deal because the owner was a fan. When we came to look at the house, he's like, "Oh wow, Randy and Annabelle Holarski, this is amazing! I'm a huge fan." He goes, "I'm a big Ethereum guy," and I'm like, "Oh, cool." He's from Spain, and he's like, "Well," he goes, "if you guys don't want the apartment, I'd still want to hang out sometimes. Maybe we'll have coffee, this type of thing." I'm like, "Yeah, sure," but we took the apartment. We signed it that day because during that time, during that time in everyone's lives, it was just you just wanted to be unstressed. So just pick the best place we could right away. But we're looking at now, the one we're looking at now is a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath. It's a whole floor of a building, but it's over 30 years old. So if we were to get a place that big now with his new builds, it would be 1.2, 1.3 million. But we're able to get this place for about 270,000, and it's totally remodeled, looking good. And there's 2 available in the building. So we're quite sure we'll get one of them. And it's one of those things like when people come down, they're close to us and they can just stay with us type of thing. It's so central, and I definitely get to have an office. My kid will have his own bedroom. You guys know how it is. Right now we do the California king type thing. You put 2 queen size beds next to each other. So it's awesome. Sleeping with your kid. I love doing it, but it's almost time. He's going to be 6 this year. It's time to get his own bed. You're graduating, kid. Get out.
Yeah, I've looked at a lot of like real estate down in your neck of the woods, just like kind of drooling and about the opportunity. Real estate's cheaper. Just the lifestyle too. I've thought of just listening to you. It's like I've kind of like I wouldn't mind having a bug out place down there. Get some condo, like, stuff hits the fan, and which it kind of has been, you know what I mean? Just the ability to come down and just vibe with you guys and enjoy that environment. That's just,
I totally agree. And I feel for everybody that doesn't have a place like this. I use an example of our Australian friend who, during the whole situation, she was in Melbourne, and she had to get out of Melbourne. And thanks to her having her residency here in Panama, she was able to escape, get on a plane. She had an excuse to leave, right? Because she has property here. So she was able to get on the plane. And when they got to Mexico, she just stayed in Mexico. And she went on the trip for the next 2 years, just moving around Mexico. So
Yeah.
I like her story. Panama wasn't the place to be during the lockdowns, obviously, because it's stupid ass rules. But if you had property out in the farm area or something where you get to go work with your livestock and stuff, that's different. No one would have messed with you. But here in the city, it was hell for people. That's why we left and went to Mexico. But the properties that my friend David, he's an English gentleman who's been living here 25 years. He's got the 700 hectares, which is about 1,500 acres that he has available that we're going to plot off 5 hectares each. So about 11 or 12 acres for everybody. And each person's going to be able to put their house on there. And we'll have, he grows cattle. He does the whole process. He's got pigs. He does all that. Chickens. And it's right on the ocean. So it's got access to the fishermen to bring in fish and those kinds of things. And so we'll be able to live out there independently, have our own farms, stuff. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll probably see him next weekend if he's coming into the city. But that's a project that once the bull market gets going, we'll launch it, because people, the one thing I'm really good at is taking profits. And I want people to take profits and put it into stuff for the future. Instead of buying Lamborghinis. Lamborghinis are cool, but you can go rent one for a couple of days. Right. Get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Randy, we know fourth turning stuff coming into the crisis. Those tangible, commodity-based, real-world assets are even more important, more valuable. Will go up.
Absolutely. I wish I had my mom's skills. My mom grew up with the Amish. She knows how to do all the farming, all pickling and canning and all that kind of stuff. She's amazing at it. And I wish I would have spent more time with her when I was younger, learning those skills, because those are all the kind of things that we have to get back to. And, don't go shopping at the grocery store. You don't know what's in it, whether it be on the outside coating it, this peel stuff from Bill Gates, or you've heard about that. Anything that says the label of peel on it, don't eat it. It's genetically modified stuff. It's not good for you. At the grocery store, you think it's all healthy, but what's healthy? Grow it yourself.
Yep.
So. Hex Glenn said, "Can tall people even fit in Lambos?" No, man. I probably have to roll in and out of that thing.
I've never been in one. Don't know if I ever will either.
Who has? Raise your hand if you've been in a Lambo.
I did rent a Corvette when I was down in. I know. But what I'm trying to say is, it was about 600 horsepower, and I rented it down in Texas when I went to the Pulsechain meetup. And I've never experienced it where you're going 60 and you step on it and you fishtail.
Chirp.
Yeah, you chirp, and you're kind of like, ooh. I mean, I've done it. I used to have a Mustang, back in the day, and it would chirp, off the line. But I've never had it where I'm going 60 and it scares the shit out of me when I stepped on it. But you're right. It's not a Lambo. You're right.
See, Corey's waving his hand because he's got. Well, I think he sold his vet.
Did he?
Yeah.
He tells me that I'll wreck because I'm a lead foot, and in my Equinox, I can only go so fast up the line. So the first time
Equinox will not allow you.
First time I drive one, I'll just. Right. So okay.
But my buddy, the ETH whale buddy of mine here in Panama, he bought a Ferrari. It was about $250,000 Ferrari. He bought it used. It's a special edition, and he drove it around for about 6 months, and he just sold it because he's like, man, you can't drive this shit here. There's too many bumps. There's too many potholes. It's no fun driving. So he got rid of his. So yes, my son and I got to sit in a Ferrari. I think it was a 358 or something like that. It was badass. But yeah, worthless in a country like this. Need an SUV.
There you go, Escalade, right?
I got a Volkswagen Touareg. They don't even sell them in the U.S. anymore. It's the big diesel.
I was gonna say, it's a diesel.
Yeah, I love diesel, man.
Nice. Yeah. They make a lot of sense there. They make a lot of sense.
I love the sound. I don't care about the I want the oh goodness. Yeah, Corey sold his before he went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. You got a diesel, huh? Is that what you said? A
Yeah,
diesel
yeah.
truck. Now, whenever you say a truck, is it an SUV or actual truck?
Oh, this is the thing that won the Dark Car Rally like 8 years in a row.
Okay.
It's the Volkswagen Touareg, which is also the Lamborghini Urus. They're the same
Okay.
truck.
Okay. Okay.
And so is the
Ooh.
Bentley Bentayga, the Porsche Cayenne. If you guys
Okay.
didn't know, and the Audi Q7, they're all the same truck. The
Okay.
truck frame underneath, and they have the air suspensions, all kinds. This thing's got metal plating underneath, straight from the factory. I ordered it that way. It's got
It's like armored vehicle, huh?
oh yeah, it's like an armored vehicle. It's ridiculous. Weighs a ton, but it gets up and goes. I could have gotten the one with the electrical the EV engine attached to it. It would have had like 600 horsepower, but nah, I said I don't even know if maybe 500 horsepower. I was like, I don't need that. Just give me the regular 3.8 liter V6 diesel. And it's the same engine that's been around for about 15 years in Volkswagen Audi products. So I don't know what your dad's told you, but my dad told me when I was very young, he goes, never buy a vehicle with a new engine. Always buy a vehicle with an engine that's been around for many years, so you can get parts for it.
Right.
Guys have worked on it; they know how to fix things on it. So that's exactly why I did that instead of buying the new V8 that they have. And diesels, guys, if you get a chance to get a diesel, these things are ridiculous. This thing will go 500,000 kilometers. They just last forever.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, HEX Clan. HEX Clan, are you ex-military? He said an MRAP. MRAPs was the big trucks they used during the Gulf War.
Well, after brownies and everything like that, you're not going to be doing your stream tonight, but out of respect to everyone's time, I will, if you want to show anything, I guess kind of like, I hate the word show, to be honest, but anyhow, if you want to, obviously we have
Let people know where we can get to Mr. Hilarski and get the pump alpha.
So yeah, they used to call me Randy Hilarski back in the day. Hilarski was Hilarski, because granted, that's what I did from 2015 up to about 2017. That's what in social media, that's what I did. I was doing crypto, and I would shill things. Had a lot of fun. I got to launch a lot of products doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can follow me. My Patreon's patreon.com/no-permissions, which is growing. We're almost 300 members strong now. Launching the Nope token. You have to be a member to get it for free. And Pulse Mafia on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've lost. I used to be just following Randy Hilarski everywhere, but those accounts are getting knocked out at the kneecaps. So they're almost all gone now.
Just keep playing whack-a-mole, brother.
That's all we can do.
Yep.
I'm pretty excited for our Pulsechain ecosystem here. I think you get the same sentiment with you, Randy. Is probably like, come December, January. I think things are really going to start kind of shifting. I wouldn't like you follow the cycles and Shemitah and all that kind of stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get outside of October and things could start to kind of cook for us in our community.
I thought I would start DCAing by now. My plan was after the 17th, after Rosh Hashanah, which is the Hebrew New Year. I thought I would come back in the market, but if you look at just all the indicators are saying we're going down on everything. This is stagflation, folks. We're going down on everything. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen in 2024 is they're going to have to do the full pivot. And I imagine by the end of the year, they'll be, cutting rates again instead of raising rates. Right. So that's really going to ignite the bull market. That's when all of us should be getting really excited. Yeah, we had the Bitcoin halving coming in April, but I'm not I'm going to be a little bit tampered on that. I'm not going to believe that that's going to take us right out of the bear. I would see Pulsechain do that. That would be my dream, is that Pulsechain is the one that gets everyone excited for crypto again.
Yeah.
Yeah, tech dude.
Super bullish.
P died to $1. Yes, let's do it. Can you imagine? I got like $100 in it. Let's go to $1. That's like 500x or something.
Yeah.
Now,
cool,
really
cool.
positive about Pulsechain. We're still hanging in the top 10 in the bear.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like you said, I think it was Johnny Chaos. Maybe it was a tweet. I'm not really sure. But they were talking about, it's how Pulsechain complements ETH. It's not. No, it was coffee. He was talking about the bug eaters and their layer 2 fairy tales. That was it.
I totally agree. And then nobody has a community like ours. So, Bert, I know you guys, most people have seen this because I've said it like 3 times now on different streams. Is what Virtual Bacon said was so true. He was on Twitter and he says he likes to talk about HEX and Pulsechain because it gets like 10 times the engagement of any other type of content that he talks about. And guess what? Content creators want the attention. So if they're not getting attention when they're talking about like Arbitrum, then they'd rather talk about Pulsechain and get 10 times more likes and reshares and grow their stuff. So if we keep doing that, when the bull run does start, holy crap, we're going to be the most exciting place to be in all crypto town.
Yes, sir.
Well, Randy, thanks for hopping on here impromptu, and Hexy, great to see you, David, as always. Good to see you too.
Super cool, Randy. Thank you, sir. And,
you're welcome, guys. And Hex Quinn.
Man, during the next bull, when you get ready to talk about land,
Panama.
Yeah, exactly. And Will says, yeah, nobody talks about Zen until it goes up. Man, I just spent 3 days minting a whole shit ton of Zen, and I want to punch the Zen master in his head. Goodness, that's such a waste of time.
I'd pay to see that.
I appreciate all my Zen. I appreciate that I was actually up instead of down in my Zen. But
right.
Still, it's so monotonous, the work. So tedious, I should say. All right, everybody. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
chat.
Randy.
Thanks, chat.
Quinn, thanks for stopping in.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a great